no agreement with the EU, but...
Good day, viewers, and welcome to yet another episode of Government and Public Service Reports on Atlantic Television Network, right here in the city of Port Harcourt. News, events, and stories abound in the state system. ATN's appetite for in-depth, unbiased, and factual reportage is the driving principle for this program in order to bring government activities to the doorstep of the people. And let's go through the highlights of today's report. In Rivers State House of Assembly to further amend the local government law. In Oyo State, government bans use of styrofoam. In Kano State, Governor Yusuf appeals for reopening of borders. In Ramadan, police reaffirm commitment to security. We take a very short break, and when we return, we go straight to the details. But please stay tuned.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
you human trafficker.
Honorable they are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
So no agreement with the EU, but...
Welcome back, and now we dive into the details for today. Rivers State Governor Sir Siminalayi Fubara says he cancelled employment processes at the Ignatius Aguru University of Education at Rumolumeni community due to intolerable irregularities and will be revisited and the process restarted. This is as he assured that a new governing council was now in place to oversee the process and ensure elimination of irregularities that hampered the previous process. Governor Fubara gave the assurance at the gates of Government House in Port Harcourt on Monday when he received some protesters who came to register their grievances as victims of the botched process. The governor, who was represented by the head of Rivers State Civil Service, Dr. George Nweke, told the protesters that it is not correct that the Fubara-led administration had neglected them or abandoned the process. The governor explained that the employment process was cancelled because of what was done to contravene the initial approval given to the institution. Governor Fubara said that the management of the institution was directed based on their request to employ only 867 staff, with 420 of such persons being academic staff, but regretted that the institution employed 1,900 persons, with only 123 being academic staff, which was grossly unacceptable. Governor Fubara urged the protesters to organize themselves properly so that it will be easy to interface with them when the employment process recommences, because only qualified persons will be employed within the stipulated number. Speaking on behalf of the protesters, Valentine Boni Barinedum said that they applied for the advertised positions, duly interviewed, engaged, and eventually worked for 9 months. A youth leader in Rivers State and a socio-political analyst, Comrade Imiebe Oscar, has expressed disappointment over Senator Akpabio's reaction to Governor Fubara's message at late Herbert Wigwe's funeral, which he described as insensitive and dubious. Comrade Imiebe Oscar made the comment when he appeared as a guest on Atlantic Television Network Blowout program.
So, see, you lost your life alongside your wife and your child in a clash. It's a very big pain. It's left us with so much expectations and so much questions, just like the governor have asked. It is a question that even when the governor have not asked publicly, we have been asking ourselves. is a question that has been running on the mind on some of us. And these questions has been a lingering questions, not just to some of us, but to so many Nigerians. For you have all the money. One of the so-called richest men in Nigeria, Dangote, Elimelu, and the rest of them, have been visiting Ishoku since the death of Herbert Bigwe. This is a man that you can hardly find in a gathering. This is a man you can easily see him in an occasion. But he find his time and give his time and devote his time to the funeral service of Wigwe. That's to tell you how important and how financially giant Wigwe was. And attending the burial, the governor has so much meaning and so much sense in his statement. That statement was not for Akpabio to respond. That statement wasn't necessary for Akpabio to show that he's always a dubious politician. That statement wasn't necessary for Akpabio to always prove that it means no well. It doesn't mean well for South people and the region it comes from. That statement wasn't supposed to make Akpabio prove that he does not want peace.
He also emphasized on the need for the South-South leaders and governors to collaborate in ensuring that sustainable peace and development is achieved for the interest of the Niger Delta region.
As we speak, all these antics and politics that these regional South people are playing, it is not supposed to be this way. And that's why one of these days, sometime last year, that was opportune to be with some top security personnel in Abuja. One of the first things they told me, even when they were asked to arrest me, one of the first things they told me is that your problem in the South-South region is your leaders. Your leaders are, especially with the natural resources that you are contributing to the nation. But what has happened to all we have contributed? This major contribution came from just major four states. Akwa Ibom, Rivers State, Delta, and Bayelsa. These are the major states in the Niger Delta and the South-South that is saddled with responsibility of producing this crude.
Okay.
Now, what has gone on, what is going on? Our leadership has been a major problem. Our leaders in politics has been a major concern to the people of South-South region.
Recall that Senate President Godswill Akpabio and Governor Siminalayi Fubara differed over politicians' struggle for political office at the former CEO of Access Bank and banking icon, Herbert Wigwe's burial. Rivers State House of Assembly at its 118th legislative sitting on Monday gave first reading to the Rivers State Local Government Amendment Bill 2024. Presenting the bill, the member representing Omoma constituency, Silvanus Wankwo, averred that the bill seeks to further amend the Rivers State Local Government Law No. 5 of 2018 and other matters connected thereto, adding that the bill has 4 clauses and when passed may be cited as Local Government Amendment Law 2024. Also, the law debated on the Rivers State Education Return of Schools Amendment Bill 2024 after the bill was read the second time. Leading the debate, the sponsor of the bill, Tekenari Granville, urged his colleagues to support the bill, which merely seeks the return of Kalabari Girls High School, Buguma, to the government because it was originally built through community efforts several years ago, but was erroneously categorized and ceded to church as mission school in 2005. He stated further that after the school was ceded to the church, it was abandoned and the previous administration in the state graciously renovated the school to its present enviable status. Contributing to the debate, other members expressed their support for the bill, stating that the school should be returned to the government for better management. They added that the school is now well positioned to cater for the educational needs of the female gender in Asari Toro local government area and beyond. Commenting on the bill, the Speaker, Martin Amehule, commended the sponsor of the bill, stating that the bill is a people-oriented bill, which is the hallmark of the 10th Assembly. The Speaker explained that the intent of the bill is innocuous because it simply seeks to return the Kalabari Girls High School, Buguma, to the government. There's more news, but don't forget you can still connect with us and watch us on our ATN socials, Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, on X, formerly Twitter, Atlantic TV Net, and watch us live on our website, atlanticnetwork.tv. Moving on, Akwa Ibom State has moved to reduce food prices by establishing an agency that will buy food items in bulk and then sell them at cheaper prices to the residents. This was revealed in a report by the Nigerian Governors Forum. The report explained measures to address the food crisis, economic hardship, and hunger in the country. The report was signed by the acting head of the media, Nigerian Governors Forum, Halima Ahmed. It noted that the governors were committed to ending the pain and sufferings of citizens. According to the governor's spokesperson, Ekerete Udo, Governor Eno appealed to residents to be patient. He promised to sign the bill into law when passed by the Assembly. Imo State Commissioner of Police, Aboki Danjuma, has met with stakeholders of the Abacheke community in Onhaji Egbema local government area of the state over the killing of 5 youths of the community on Friday. Gunmen who operated on motorcycles had invaded the community and opened fire, shooting sporadically. In the process, 4 youths of the community were killed while another was injured and rushed to a hospital. But on Monday, the police in the state confirmed that the 5th person had died. A statement issued by the spokesperson for the police in the state, Henry Okoye, disclosed that the CP on Monday met with the stakeholders of the community. Okoye said that the meeting, which had in attendance the immediate past Minister of State for Education, Goodluck Opia, sought to stop the killings in the community. Police in Anambra State say that they have recovered an AK-47 rifle and 2 magazines loaded with 50 rounds of 7.62 mm ammunition. Spokesperson for the State Police Command, SP Tochukwu Ikenga, stated this in a press release made available to newsmen in Awka, the Anambra State capital. Ikenga said that the arm and ammunition were from a kidnap gang which the operatives of the command had dislodged last week Friday. He said 2 vehicles were recovered from the kidnap gang, while 4 kidnapped victims were rescued when the operatives of the command accosted the gang at Albo, Orumba North local government area. He said that the gang escaped in a 3rd car and that they were suspected to have sustained bullet wounds. In Monday's press release, he said that the arms and ammunition was from the fleeing gang. 4 male kidnapped victims regained freedom from the den of their captors. From the den of the abductors in Anambra after the criminals fled following a police invasion of their hideout. The police spokesman in Anambra State, ASP Tochukwu Ikenga, stated in Awka that on Monday that the victims had been reunited with their families. He added that a local vigilante group collaborated with the police in the operations at Algo in Orumba North local government area of the state. Ikenga stated that in a follow-up operation on Saturday, members of the vigilance group and the police combed the surrounding bushes and recovered 1 AK-47 rifle abandoned by the kidnappers. They also recovered 2 magazines loaded with 50 rounds of ammunition. Ikenga added that a manhunt has begun to effect the arrest of the fleeing abductors as the special anti-kidnapping unit of the police in the state had taken over the investigation. He stated that the Commissioner of Police in Anambra State, Aderemi Adeoye, had commended the diligence of the joint team and promised to reward it for its commitment to public safety. Enugu Zonal Command of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has arraigned one Ukwueze Chidera Matthew before Justice F.O. Giwa Ogubanjo of the Federal High Court sitting in Enugu State. The suspect was arraigned on a 2-count charge bordering on conspiracy and stealing to the tune of 11,458,597 naira 53 kobo. He pleaded not guilty when the charges were read to him. Counsel to the EFCC, B. Ajogu, prayed the court for a trial date and for the defendant to be remanded at Enugu State Correctional Facility. However, the defense counsel, G.O. Ugwoke, informed the court about a pending bail application before it. Justice Giwa Ogubanjo therefore adjourned the matter till March the 12th, 2024 for hearing of the bail application and June 26 and 27, 2024 for trial. The defendant was remanded at the Enugu State Correctional Facility. The anti-graft agency further stated that the defendant was arrested after he allegedly withdrew over 11 million naira from the petitioner's bank account without her consent. The Lagos State government has commenced the demolition of all illegal structures and shanties around the Jakande estate and Mayegun in Lekki area of the state. Tokumbo Wahab, the commissioner for the Ministry of Environment and Water Resources in the state, announced this in a post on his official X handle. The commissioner shared a video clip from the site where a structure is being pulled down, adding that the enforcement is geared towards reclaiming the coastal road alignment for the Lagos-Calabar Highway project of the federal government and the urban regeneration of the area. Zamfara State Command of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps has paraded 2 suspects alleged to be involved in the diversion of ready-to-use therapeutic food meant for a healthcare facility in the Birnin Magaji area of the state. Addressing newsmen in Gusau, the state capital, the corps commandant Sani Mustafa said that one Aliu Lambo 63, who is a driver, connived with one Abdullahi Suleiman, 45 years of age, and a nutritional officer with the Birnin Magaji local government area to divert 33 cartons of RUTF. He said the items were moved to a residence of Labo, who was asked to convey the products to Birnin Magaji local government area. The state commandant said that the actions of the duo contravened Section 61, 309, and 315 of the ZPC Law, number 18, 2024, and the Administration of Criminal Justice Laws. He said the suspects will be arraigned before a competent court of jurisdiction at the end of investigations. He also paraded the suspect, Yahaya Mairake, 60 years, who was alleged to have been voluntarily giving his son, Muazu Yahaya, 18 years, to some hoodlums for disciplinary purposes, thereby causing grievous harm, which eventually led to the death of the boy. The commandant warned parents to be mindful of the kind of discipline meted out on their wards to avoid such unfortunate incidences. 9 persons have been injured following a gas explosion at Phoenix Metal Company at Ogijo, Sagam local government area of Ogun State. Spokesperson of the Ogun State Police Command, Omotola Odutola, confirmed the development. According to an eyewitness account, the blast explosion was attributed to a cylinder explosion that happened at the melting point area, affecting 9 staff members who sustained non-life-threatening injuries. They were taken to a private hospital in Ikorodu, Lagos State. The report said that the explosion impacted nearby houses, causing damage from the blast. Houses and window frames were reportedly cracked due to the vibrations from the blast. She added that the situation is under control and close monitoring, and there is no indication for panic, whereas further updates will be communicated to members of the public. Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke has approved the appointment of Dr. Ademola Makinde as another Owa of Ibajo. Oba Famodun was appointed by the previous administration after he was nominated by kingmakers of the town. However, Adeleke faulted his selection and used warrant chiefs to select the new king on Friday. But Oba Famodun insisted he remains the Owa of Ibajo and will continue to reign till court of law says otherwise. Adeleke on Monday, in a statement through his Commissioner for Information and Public Enlightenment, Kolapo Alimi, noted that the appointment of the new Owa was reached at the executive meeting at the ESCO chambers in line with the due process, chieftaincy law and tradition. He urged him to embark on reconciliation and restore the dignity and integrity of the traditional institution. Judiciary staff in Oshun on Monday returned to work following the suspension of the 3-month strike embarked upon by the state chapter of the Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria. Judiciary workers in the state had embarked on a strike in November 2023 to press for better conditions of service amongst other demands. A visit to the High Court complex on Oshobo Ilubo Road showed that in compliance of the directive of its executive to resume on March 7th, workers were seen entering the court complex as early as 7:30 a.m. Also, some artisans were seen cutting overgrown grasses and cleaning the courtrooms and other offices, while a few lawyers were sighted driving in and out of the premises, which accommodates both magistrates and high courts. The staff, who did not want his name to be mentioned, said that the courts would not be sitting today because of the level of cleaning needed to be done and other arrangements. He commended the union for putting the interests of his members in the forefront, which was led to some drastic changes. Recall that the strike was embarked upon by the union following the alleged seizure of the members' wardrobe allowances, suspension of some colleagues by the chief judge, and her refusal to lift the embargo on the training of workers. Health professionals under the aegis of National Nigerian Union of Allied Health Professionals working in facilities owned by Oyo State government on Monday suspended their ongoing 7-day warning strike. While directing all members to resume work, the union gave the government another 21 days to start responding to all her demands, after which it will no more guarantee industrial harmony in the state sector, in the state-owned health facilities. The workers, including laboratory scientists, physiotherapists, dental technologists, dental therapists, medical social workers, radiographers, nutritionists, and dietitians, and health records and information managers across all general specialist teaching hospitals in the state, in the last 1 week withdrew their service due to the strike action. The practitioners include the Association of Medical Laboratory Scientists of Nigeria, National Society of Physiotherapists, the Association of Dental Technologists of Nigeria, and Nigeria Dental Therapists Association, amongst others. The workers said that they decided on the warning strike due to the failure of the state government to accede to their demands and have been tabled before various government committees in over 2 years. However, while calling off the strike, New HAP unit chairman Comrade Olaiwaju Ajani, in a statement on Monday, said that the union at various meetings received assurances of the management of State's Ministry of Health and State Health Management Boards that the cases and demands were being handled by the government. Oyo State government on Monday banned the use of styrofoam for food services, storage, and other related purposes. The State House of Assembly had on Thursday urged the state government to ban the use of styrofoam for food purposes in the state. It therefore inaugurated the Food Safety Compliance Enforcement Task Force to oversee the enforcement of food safety rules and regulations in the state. The State Commissioner for Health, Oluwasirmi Ajetumobi, who made this announcement during the Food Safety Stakeholders Forum and the inauguration of the task force held at the conference room of the Ministry Secretariat Agodi in Ibadan, the state capital, said the decision was part of the government's efforts to uphold the food safety standards in the state. Represented by the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Akintunde Ayinde Ajetunmobi, said that the prevention is better and cheaper than cure, hence the need for people to adhere strictly to food standards to save lives in the state. The commissioner explained that the task force will be sensitizing the actors along the food chain on the importance attached to the implementation of food safety standards by the government. Earlier, the Director of Food, Water and Laboratory Services in the ministry, Afusat Akande, highlighted the basic requirements that actors along the food chain must meet before they can be certified. You've been watching Government and Public Service Reports right here on Atlantic Television Network in the city of Port Harcourt. We'll be back after this very short break. Please don't move.
people into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
You human
On the point of order,
Honorable
You are a human
on the point of
on them. They are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
So no agreement with the EU, but
people into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
You human
on the point of order,
Honorable
You are a human
on the point of
on them. They are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
Welcome back to Government and Public Service Reports on Atlantic Television right here in the city of Port Harcourt. Now to the rest of our stories. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has arrested 37 suspected internet fraudsters in the Federal Capital Territory. The Anti-Graft Agency, in a statement via its X-handle, said that the suspects were arrested at Jabi, Dawaki, and Gwarimpa areas of Abuja. According to this commission, they were arrested following actionable intelligence about their activities. Items recovered from the suspects include 6 vehicles, 20 laptops, 66 mobile phones, 6 international passports, and 1 Apple wristwatch. The commission added that they will be charged to court as soon as investigations are concluded. Governor Amadu Fintiri of Adamawa State has reiterated calls for religious tolerance among religions and ethnic groups in the country. In a Ramadan message issued on Monday, March 11 by his Chief Press Secretary, Humwashi Wanosiku, Fintiri also called for obedience to laws aimed at achieving orderliness in the society. As Muslims across the world commence the 2024 Ramadan fast, Governor Fintiri urged the Muslim Ummah to put the fear of Allah in all their dealings and pray that Allah will use the Ramadan period to stop the violence and untoward events in some parts of the country. The governor stressed that this period of abstinence calls for behavioral change. The Governor Fintiri expressed appreciation to Almighty Allah, who has counted all those alive worthy to participate in another Ramadan fasting, and prayed for a successful Ramadan period. President Bola Tinubu on Monday expressed readiness to end the perennial farmers' headers crisis in the country. Tinubu vowed to draw up programs that will end the crisis within 2 to 3 weeks. He spoke during the inauguration of the mechanized agricultural project in Mina, Niger State. The president, however, noted that the state governors would provide lands that would help in facilitating his program, a comprehensive program that will solve this problem. Socio-political analyst Emmanuel Iroinama has called on women interested in politics across the nation to brace up and strategize in line of their aim for political positions in the country. His call came amidst appeal by the women group under the People's Democratic Party in Nasarawa State, calling on Nigerian leadership to make way for women to hold higher political offices like state governors and the vice president. Eroinama spoke while he featured on Atlantic Television's Open Conversation.
Opportunity to say Happy Women's Day in Area.
Thank you very much.
As it were. But the fact is this: are they marginalized? Maybe circumstantially. Maybe they've not done enough. Maybe they need to do much more than what they think they are doing. Maybe even the style they are using to asking for what they think they are asking for is actually completely out of place. Okay. I can't remember men sitting down to asking that they should be given a special place for them to have grown to where they are today. I can't remember. You see, when we have the mindset of dash, it will come. Power will never come. Women are, for me, better placed to make things happen than asking for it to happen. And that's my position. You have, by so-called estimated population, we have more women than men in the country. That's the first index. So it simply tells you that there are more women. And so if women actually want a thing, they shouldn't be asking for it or begging for it. They can mobilize themselves to getting what they want.
He maintained further that politics and power is not a journey for the privileged, but rather it is for the determined and the up-hearted.
But with the mindset of give us special privilege, who will give the men special privilege or who will give the youths special privilege? It's neither here or there. I've heard some persons say women will be better presidents and women will be better governors. And I ask myself, the few that we have put in one place or the other, how far? That is a normal human nature. As bad as you think some men will be, you also find women in the same shoe. In the same variable too, that also does not mean that there won't be very good women. There could be excellently good women. Of course, some of them are in the private sector and we're seeing them doing beautifully very well, excellently very well. And I keep telling people the likes of Okonjo-Iweala has established herself as somebody who can stand anybody at any time. And I wonder if she was ever given any special privilege because she was a woman. She was never given any special privilege because she was a woman. And today she's the president of the World Bank, as it were. So let women begin to do rethinking. And then perhaps re-strategize, ask themselves what is failing in their ability to mobilize themselves to power.
Moving on, Governor Abba Kabiru Yusuf of Kano State has appealed to the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to, as a matter of urgency, reconsider the reopening of the country's borders for importation of foodstuffs to alleviate the suffering of the Nigerian masses. The appeal was contained in a statement issued by the governor's spokesperson, Sanusi Bature Dawakin Tofa, shortly after receiving the Comptroller General of the Nigerian Customs Service, Bashir Adewale Adeniyi, at the government house in Kano State. Yusuf lamented the critical condition of hunger and starvation in the country, which was caused by the hike in the price of commodities in the country. According to the governor, another immediate intervention that can make food available and affordable is for the federal government to consider the reopening of the borders and allow free importation of commodities. During the meeting with Adeni in his office, Yusuf emphasized the prevalence of hardship faced by the populace, particularly during the sacred month of Ramadan, underscoring the necessity of opening the borders to alleviate their distress. Wife of the president, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, has said that some of the initiatives of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu under the Renewed Hope agenda are already yielding fruits and will soon reach all communities in the country. The First Lady stated this at the inauguration of the Women's Wing of the Christian Association of Nigeria in Abuja on Monday, adding that the initiatives will benefit all Nigerians, especially women. Represented by the Mandate Secretary for Women Affairs in the Federal Capital Territory, Adedayo Benjamin Laniyi, Tinubu said that the economic situation of the country is already improving. The First Lady urged women to always live as shining examples and remain united to advance the cause of women in the country. She said women must see themselves as healers and play their role in healing the land. The Senate has inaugurated an ad hoc committee to investigate the ways and means, including the Anchor Borrowers Program by the Central Bank of Nigeria. Led by the President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, and other senators to the inauguration, the move comes after a decision by the Red Chamber to probe details of the programs based on the monies given to the state governments, manufacturers, aviation, banks, excessive funding in the power sector, amongst others, which raised the current debt profile of the country. This was part of the resolutions of the Senate after a debate over the reports of the National Assembly Joint Committees on Banking, Insurance, and other financial institutions, finance, national planning, agriculture, and appropriation on the state of the economy. In an extensive debate in early February, Senator Adamu Aliero had argued that some state governors, including some retired ones in the Senate, were beneficiaries of the 18 billion naira as shock absorbers under the Ways and Means since 2015. The debate had led to some lawmakers suggesting that a special committee be set up to scrutinize the 30 trillion naira intervention disbursements, some of which were already grants, and ways to mop them up. In his inaugural address, the ad hoc committee chaired by Senator Isa Jibrin, representing Kogi East, Senator Akpabio charged the committee to leave no stone unturned in its investigation, expected to span 6 weeks. He enjoined members of the committee to set aside personal and partisan interests, focus on the task at hand, and approach their responsibilities with utmost balance, devotion, and impartiality. Recognizing the sensitivity of the investigations at hand, Senator Akpabio reminded them to constantly engage with relevant stakeholders and consultants to improve invaluable insights while maintaining open lines of communication with the executive and the public, but disclosing that no aspects of the report until the task is concluded. The inauguration was attended by the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, the Central Bank Governor, Olayemi Cardoso, Accountant General of the Federation, Oluwatoyin Madeyin, Auditor General of the Federation, Shaka Chira, and Director General, Debt Management Office, Patience Onihan, beneficiary ministries, departments and agencies, institutions, states, local governments, and others. Alleged budget pardon by the Senate and its supposed implementation by the President Bola Tinubu administration seems to be causing a huge division in the nation's upper legislative chamber. Senator Abdul Ningi, who represents Bauchi Central, told reporters on Monday that the interview he granted in Hausa language in foreign media prompted the argument of whether the government is implementing the 28.7 trillion naira budget as passed or 25 trillion naira as reported. Ningi, however, maintained that he did not say that the President Bola Tinubu-led administration was operating two budgets.
At no time did I say Bola Ahmed Tinubu is implementing two budgets. There was no time At no time did I say was biased against the North. The House of Virgin is there. At no time did I say Bola Tinubu is implementing 25%, 25 trillion budget. The House of Virgin is there. But I'm here to attempt to summarize to you, members of the National Assembly Press Corps, what I said in my Hausa interview about a week today. I was speaking on the state of the nation. And amongst other things, I lamented how
Not long after Senator Ningi left the podium, his Ondo South counterpart, Jimo Ibrahim, mounted and called on the federal government and the police to charge Ningi with misinformation. He insisted that the claims by the Bauchi Central Senator were worrisome, totally untrue, divisive, and amounts to criminal misinformation.
So my information to you today is that, one, it is not true that we have 2 appropriations. 2, Senator Ningi must be charged to court for conduct likely going to cause breach of peace and criminal misinformation. These 2 are very important. The charges will be preferred by the Criminal Justice Department of the government, and of course, after thorough investigation. Because I'm a member of our operation committee, and I'm chairman of Interparliamentary Worldwide. When I go here and travel to the next United Nations Convention, the first question I will be asked is, well, how did you do 2 budgets? And you know, it will be difficult for me to begin to answer this question. I'm preparing for the World Bank in April for the spring meeting. I'm going to be asked this set of questions. So it's very important, as a matter of urgency, for the federal government to charge Senator Ningi to court for criminal misinformation as well as conduct likely to cause.
Yep. Recall that presidency had on Sunday described as false a claim by Senator Ningi that the federal government is operating 2 versions of the 2024 budget. The Economic Community of West African States Regional Center for Surveillance Disease Control for the establishment of National Public Health Institutes has deliberated on health issues faced by the West African countries. At the workshop for the establishment and strengthening of the National Public Health Institutes held in Abuja, the stakeholders said the program's objective was to explore challenges and bottlenecks for the establishment of MPHIs and for the strong member states to understand MPHIs, including added value contributed to health security. Our correspondent Joseph Moses reports.
The Federal Ministry of Health has joined the ECOWAS Regional Center for Surveillance and Disease Control for the establishment of National Public Health Institutes to provide health solutions in West Africa. At the workshop in Abuja, where National Public Health Institute was given light through deliberations, the Director General, National Center for Disease Control, Jide Idris, and the Director, Public Health, Federal Ministry of Health, Dr. Chukwuma Onyaike, attributed that the NPHI was a great opportunity for Nigeria to share part of its health challenges and to learn from other countries on how to tackle health problems.
The idea of this gathering is to share knowledge amongst those who have established, those who are in the process of establishing, and those who have not shared knowledge, the processing they went about it, the challenges we face, so that those of them who have not can go back and develop such capabilities. And at the same time, share, lessons from people, different experiences, so that to enrich each country from experience from other countries, so that it can effectively be able to tackle health security in the West African sub-region.
Well, 3 major points. This gathering is to invite directors of public health across the West African sub-region for them to brainstorm, share ideas, share challenges, and be able to discuss on the way forward towards solving them. It's expected that at the end of this meeting, they would have learned from each other, they would have thought together, and would have provided solutions on which they can work towards securing the life of people in West African region and in Africa in general.
While other participants stated that the program was to strengthen NPHI, sharing strategies, recommendations, and to overcome the challenges in the health sector.
By the end of this workshop, I hope that the member states of the West Africa region walk away with a better understanding of the challenges and facilitators for establishing and strengthening national public health institutes.
Replicate the space, the terrain, the global health terrain as far as the West Africa region is concerned. We looked at the different outbreaks that happened on the continent, especially in the region, and see what exactly was going to be the best approach, to respond to those disease outbreaks. And we realized that the countries that had national public health institutes, like Nigeria CDC, were able to do better, respond better to disease outbreak than those countries that did not have any. So from there, we decided that one of our key agenda will be to support each and every member state on the continent to establish national public health institutes. And for those who already have, support them to strengthen those national public health institutes. So in terms of advantages, many a times when there's outbreak, it takes time for us to detect. It also takes time to respond. In fact, it takes much longer time to rebuild back better, stronger, and bolder. But with MPHI, and from the experience from those countries who have MPHI, we discovered that decision delivery time tends to be faster. In terms of utilization of resources, it tends to be better. And in terms of rebuilding back, using that memory, that experience from those outbreaks, it tends to be better when you have MPHI. So this is actually part of the reasons why it's always good to have an MPHI.
Joseph Moses, ATN News, Abuja.
As the holy month of Ramadan begins, the Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Egbetokun, has restated the commitment of the force to the provision of adequate security for all across the country. The Force Public Relations Officer, ACP Olumuyiwa Adejobi, in a statement in Abuja on Monday, said Egbetokun gave reassurance while extending greetings to all Muslims at the start of the Ramadan. The IGP urged all Muslim Ummah to embrace the spirit of compassion, generosity, and forgiveness that defines Ramadan. He called for all to unite, support one another, foster a sense of harmony, and build stronger bonds of friendship and cooperation in the holy months and beyond. The Inspector General of Police, while urging members of the public to embrace the community policing concept, charges Nigerians to support the NPF's efforts to maintain peace and order throughout the month of Ramadan. The IGP equally urged the Muslim Ummah to cherish the blessings of Ramadan and strive to make a positive difference in the lives of others. And as the Muslim Ummah begins the annual Ramadan fast, the chairman of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, Jalal Arabi, has emphasized the significance of perseverance and faith in the face of challenges in the country. The Sultan of Sokoto, Saad Abubakar III, had earlier declared Monday, March 11, 2024, as the first day of Ramadan, noting that the declaration was based on the sighting of the moon in almost every part of the country earlier on Sunday, which was the 29th day of the month of Shaban, and signifying the March 11th as the first day of Ramadan 1445. In his Ramadan message on Monday, the NACON chairman urged Muslims to endure the challenges, and adding that the part of the Muslims' faith was the ability to recognize Allah's wisdom woven into every aspect of life, including the moments of hunger and difficulty. While felicitating with Muslims on the onset of the holy month, Arabi also encouraged them to embrace the
country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
You human trafficker.
Honorable they are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
No agreement with the EU, but